How you going, guys? Welcome back. This is episode number 73 of the BS Machine. I am Tommy Kendi and I am your host. If you're watching me on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, welcome. How you going? You can see me. If you're watching me or you're listening to me on the podcast Apple app, welcome. And if you're on Spotify, how you going? How you going? All of you guys. And if you're listening to me somewhere else, that's awesome. But yeah, it is another week that's gone by, and that's happened, hasn't it? Another week sort of happened, and it's just what sort of rolls, isn't it? Like the weeks just go by, and you're like, holy shit, did that just happen again? Is it Monday again? Wow, just happens, doesn't it? So on the podcast today, on this episode, we are looking into basically clearing the mind of negative thoughts. And look, that is something that I think is really rampant and really important for a lot of us at the moment, because I mean, I found this week that there was actually times where I'd be just sitting back and all these thoughts are literally going through my mind, and I literally don't even realize that I'm actually alive. Like I'm just getting fully involved. My brain is taking over. And I've had so many little moments, like little micro moments this week of pure clarity. And the funny thing is that usually when I find clarity within my life is when everything is going haywire around me, when everything is going totally askew, if that's the right word to use. Everything's sort of going left of center all around me. And that's definitely happened this week in a number of ways. I'm not going to share how, but I mean, maybe I should. No, I won't, because it's just what at the end of the day, it's fucking irrelevant, isn't it? Like what's relevant is what actually happens. And when shit goes crazy in your life, I don't know why, but for me, they're the moments where I'm able to go within and find clarity for myself and really take notice to what's actually going on. But this week, as I mentioned before, there was a number of times where I literally just sat back and went, wow, like I've just got these thoughts rolling through my brain, my mind, and it's like a hypnotism, because you don't realize that you can go through a whole fucking day with having these thoughts going through your head, and they're just getting deeper into your psyche, into your emotional being, into your physical being, and they end up just taking over. And so there has to be a way that we can clear the mind of negative thoughts, and there is many ways. But before we even get into that, I mean, there's definitely causes of what creates negative thinking, and we need to look at the causes first. And usually the things that trigger a negative thought patterns, especially those hypnotistic negative thought patterns where you don't even realize you're just digging yourself further into a hole that you don't actually need to be in, is when constant patterns keep recurring in your life. Constant patterns keep coming up for you. And for me, one of those things is conflict that just keep fucking reappearing. And usually, I mean, I've gotten a lot better at it, because now the conflict isn't with me directly involved, but I notice conflict around me. And when I notice conflict around me, it still gives me that ability. And thank God I've done the work that I've done. And you know, you guys too. I mean, fucking good on you for the work that you've already done on yourself and doing some digging. But when you're able to just notice what's happening around you, and if there's conflict around you, there's still a level of involvement. You still have to take responsibility for it, even if you're not like proper directly involved. So usually main causes of negative thinking come from just things that keep recurring in your life that you don't fucking like. And one of those things could be conflict, or it could be certain situations or certain people that keep pushing you down, or a control thing, or whatever it might be. Who knows? It could also be, negative thinking, surprisingly, and I did a bit of research on this in the past, can be after we're sick or we've got a cold or a flu or whatever. There's after that, there is this sense of like, because your immune system's down, and there's this sense of negative thinking that comes afterwards. And the other thing is, which is obvious, which I'm very comfortable in, is when you feel stagnant or feel stuck in life. That can also bring up negative thinking. And even on that, I mean, I've got a little story for you if you want it, but even if you don't, tough shit, because you're about to hear it. Is this week, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but I put up a post earlier this week, and it I mean, it's nothing bad or whatever, but I've been doing these fucking little songs. They're terrible. I know they're terrible, but I've just been trying shit out on Instagram to see what works, what doesn't work, whatever. And I put up this post early this week, which is basically me standing in front of the mirror. And, there was this little song where I feel like shit or whatever. I can't remember what the words were, but it's basically you're looking in the mirror and you're talking down to yourself. And these negative patterns keep recurring about, first thing in the morning, you look yourself in the mirror, you've got like wrinkles, you feel like shit, you got baggy eyes and whatever. And then, the next part of this reel or this post was, me looking into the mirror, going about how fucking, how incredible I am and how amazing I am. And I guess you could call it positive self-talk. And then I jump into another little song, which is basically, I feel awesome or something like that. Anyway, so this post, I put it out, and simply because it came out, it came to me, and then I just did it. And I'm like, you know what, fuck it, let's just put it up. I know it wasn't perfect, wasn't amazing, but I'm just trying shit out. And it triggered a number of people around me that, no, I wouldn't call it triggered, but people that I know very well and that know me, they were sort of like, Tom, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is not you. And I'm like, no, it is me, but I just haven't, like you've got to, this is what I think, right? Is that you've got to have a way, you've got to be courageous enough to just put shit out there. And if you know that it's heading to some sort of outcome, it may not be perfect, it may not be amazing, but I'm so proud of myself for actually being able to do that and to put shit out, even though I knew I was going to get backlash from the people that know me very, very well. And it's not even a bad thing. Go have a look at it if you want, maybe even give it a sneaky like, but it's like, it's those things that you naturally feel, and then when they don't work out, which that post obviously didn't. I mean, it got a shit ton of content stuff. Like, I had, from that one post, I had like 6 or 7 people hit me up for one-on-one coaching, and I was actually surprised because I thought it was pretty shitty. And I had some people hit me up for personal one-on-one coaching. And then I also got a shit ton of likes and comments and whatever. And you know what? Great. It made a little bit of an impact, which is good. I hated it. The people I know really hated it, but the public seemed to warm to it and like it. So anyway, when things don't work out the way that you want, or the way that you feel like you should want them to work out, then you feel a little bit deflated and you feel a little bit hard done by. And that can also be the seed, or that can trigger negative thinking. And that's, negative thinking can really arise from these situations. So we have to know what the cause of our negative thinking is, if we're aware enough to actually catch it and to catch it. And you know what, just another quick one. I'll give you another quick one. This week I went to a barber, and I've basically been like, I've gone a little bit gray in my beard, or just the bottom of my beard or whatever. And my head's, I've got a few little gray bits popping up. If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see. but really, this week when I went to the barber, I was just like, you know what, I'm not going to put in I'm not going to color my hair. Like usually they put a bit of color in there to hide the grays. And I've got my Just for Men, which hides the grays on the bottom of my beard. And this week I was like, no, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to let the grays out and just be with it. Like I'm getting there, well, not really getting there. I'm like 45. So of course, grays are going to start popping up, and I'm not going to be a little kid my whole life. So I'm going to start owning it. I've got grey beard, fucking good on you, Tom. Actually, like not all grey, just the bottom of it. But even that, like doing that set me off on a little negative thought pattern, just like, oh fuck, what if you don't look as young as what you want to look and whatever. I'm like, do you know what, whatever, and so I catch myself. I'm aware enough and I'm thankful enough to be able to catch myself in those negative thought patterns. So you have to know what the cause of your negative thinking is, and once you catch yourself, that is the coolest part, because once you catch yourself and once you become aware of the fact that you're in this downward spiral of your negative thought patterns, that's the point where you get to make more powerful choices. And so in that point where you get to make more powerful choices, usually those choices will ask you, or what those choices will be asking of you is to go to a place that you haven't gone before. Because the most comfortable thing to do is to make the same choices you've done in the past, try and control a situation or a person, or even try and control yourself. And then whatever choices you've made around that in the past that haven't worked aren't going to work for you again. So this time, once you catch yourself in a negative spiral, negative thought pattern, and you know that you're in that place, because physically you will feel enclosed, you will feel anger, you will feel frustration, you will feel like the world's fucking you over, and you'll feel like you're almost out of control. There'll be this sense of like, oh fuck, why can't she just happen the way that I saw it happening? And then the other thing that might happen once you're in this place is that you might look out at the world and just go, this is just not, it's just not making sense to me of why these things are actually happening. And so in those situations, you have to become aware of them and you have to make powerful choices. And if you don't know what powerful choices are, basically you will see that in that place, you are either sitting in a place where you're excited to make new choices, to foster a new outcome, or you're feeling like shit and you're feeling hard done by, and you're like, all right, I'm going to have to make choices that basically control people, control situation, or whatever. And once you start going down that route, you have to understand that with every single decision, with every single choice, there comes a consequence or many consequences. So you have to understand that it doesn't matter which way you go, you're going to have to deal with the consequences of your choices. So then what next? Like then you're sitting back and you're like, right, either I feel like shit or I feel good. If you feel good, that means you're making choices that fucking scare you, that aren't like things you've done in the past. And then you might reap a different outcome than what you've had before. But really it goes a little bit deeper than negative thinking, because negative thinking is just really the surface of it all. The negative thinking part is basically the symptom of what's really going on. So you have to have this ability to look a little bit deeper into what's actually going on. What are you feeling? What's going on? Like what's actually going on? And if you look a little bit deeper, you'll find that the things that might be going on, if you're being true to yourself, is that you're not feeling safe. You're not feeling, you don't trust yourself, because it always comes back to you every single time. It always, always, always comes back to you. So you either don't trust yourself, you don't like how you are at this stage in life or at this point, you might have had a realization about yourself that that you're going in a direction that is not right for you in terms of how you really want to be, or you're going towards something that you don't actually want. When you ask people, what do you want? It's such a hard thing for people to answer, because usually they go to a surface place. And when you say, really, what do you want? And this happens so often in um in my, especially in group workshops. Like, if you say in a group workshop to, say, 20 or 30 people, if you say, put up your hand if you believe that everyone has a level of genius in them. Every time, pretty much every hand in the room will go up, because everyone believes that inherently we are fucking powerful, and each human being has a level of genius that they can tap into. But then when you ask someone, what do you actually want? As soon as you ask someone what they want, all this fear comes in, because what comes with going for what you actually want is that you're going to have to go down a path of uncharted territory. And you know what? We started with negative thinking patterns, and this is how deep you must go. You must have the level of awareness and the courage to get really fucking downright honest with yourself. And so, and you almost, to be able to move through this, you almost have to do the opposite of what you've done in the past. And that is scary, scary shit. Because when you're doing the opposite of what you've done in the past, then it's a scary, scary route. So if you're having negative thought patterns, and you're asking yourself, or you want to get some, I don't know, hacks, or get some whatever to get out of your negative thinking patterns, be prepared to look a little bit deeper. And when you first start doing this, it is hard. It becomes challenging, because you have to look at things that you weren't looking at before. But after you've done this a few times, and you're always going to get an opportunity, because most of us will most likely, at least once a day, could most likely catch herself in a negative thinking pattern when you just totally hypnotized. So you literally get an opportunity almost every day to go into this on a deeper level and ask the right questions, and go into it and go, what is it that's actually going on? Like, at the core of it, what is actually going on? And when you look into what's actually going on, you can ask yourself, what's actually going on here? I don't feel safe. I don't feel that I'm in control of my life, and I don't feel like I'm in control of me as a person. If you go deeper into it, it's like, oh man, like for me, at the core, at the core of it, I don't feel like I have anything to offer the world. That's in my absolute core of it. And obviously I don't, I know that's not true, but at the core of it, I know that I have this feeling, and this deep rooted shit, that I have nothing to offer the world, and that basically I'm a total fuck up. But I don't believe that. But I know that down in the core, that's the part that wants to keep coming up and proving to me that I am fucking useless and I am fucking incapable. And that's scary. I'm not going to let that run my life. No fucking way. But I know deep down, from, and we spoke about this in a couple of episodes ago, it's what's built in us in a child, from being a kid, in our childhood, whether it's traumatic, not traumatic, whatever. But these things have been with us, and a lot of us don't want to look at that, as I mentioned on a previous episode. And when you don't want to look at that, then those things are going to keep running your life. Anyway, so once you become aware of it, I mean, look, I have a few little easy hacks that really work for me, in terms of to get out of my negative thought patterns, but also just to get out of my pattern, just to get out of any fucking pattern. And as soon as I catch myself, I'm in. So I use my body as an opportunity, or not an opportunity. Well, it is an opportunity, but I use my body as a vehicle, as it's a fucking vehicle to teach the mind and teach my heart how to connect together, how to become one. And by using the body, I mean, whether it's breath work, whether it's, I even do shit like punch myself in the face, or not like hard so I get a bruise or anything, but I do shit that gets me out of my fuckness. And you have to, because the body is your vehicle. So use the body as a vehicle. If you're in a negative thinking pattern, even if you, in your wallet or on your phone, put a reminder down, set an alarm for 3 o'clock every day to reconnect back into your heart. You've got to do this every day. And the more you do it, the more it will take, the more easier it will be for you to exist, even when there is negative thought patterns or when there's shit going on all around you. It's going to give you more opportunity to land into what you actually want. What is it you actually want? And most of us want one of these things: love, connection, what's that word when we're connected? Yeah, love, connection, community, sharing our gift with the world, and having significance. Even like that could be, Tony Robbins talks about significance a lot, where, a lot of people thrive for significance, and that's not a bad thing. It isn't. A lot of people want significance, but whatever. I mean, if that's what you want, hallelujah. I mean, a lot of people strive for that. Some get it, some don't, but the ones that do get it because they're connected to their heart and they know exactly what they want. So use the body, how to get out of negative thinking. Basically use the body, like really use the body, whether it's breathing, whether it's yoga, whether it's punching yourself in the face. Like today, I went for a run this morning, then I landed after that in a little bit of conflict. And once I landed in that little bit of conflict afterwards, I just went, you know what? I don't actually need to fix anything or do anything right now. I'm just going to take myself for a walk. And I used my body, and I did a 8 or 9K, not 89, 8 or 9K walk down at the beach. And straight away afterwards, I just felt so much more freer. And then I even came home and I did a little 20-minute Kundalini session, because I know that these things really clear up my mind, and they do, and they create new energy in my life. But the next part is and this is probably, I should have said this first, but you have to assume that you are a powerful human being. You're going to have to choose to assume that you are powerful. Choose to assume that you have the ability and the capability to make choices, and choose and assume that you have the ability to make choices that actually sing true for who you really are. And the only one and only way you will know if that's a choice that is connected to who you really are is it will feel light in the body. It will feel that it's like what I actually want. It'll be connected to love. It'll be connected to friendships and togetherness. And then all the other stuff that you think is so important is going to become fucking irrelevant. It actually will. So what's important for you? Is it love? Is it connection? Is it significance, but have significance connected to love? Is it intimacy? Is it fun? Is it joy? What the fuck is it? Like get into it, the reality of it, and then if you assume that you are powerful, then god damn, man, like you are going to have a fucking good time. And this is, I mean, I think this is a big one, and this is not a thing to do. This is something to not do. But a lot of people, when they get into negative thought patterns, especially Aussies, what do? We go and get a fucking 6-pack of beer, or go out with the boys, or go out with the girls and have a drink. And basically those type of behaviors are always going to add fuel to the fire. Try not to, when you're feeling like shit, when you're feeling negative or whatever, don't run away from it. You've got to go through it. You've got to be in it. Don't look for a way out, look for a way in. And when you look for a way in, it is good because you're not sabotaging. So try and stay away from any sort of, sabotaging behaviors like drinking, getting on the gear or drugs or whatever. And instead of trying to run away from of what's in front of you, dive deeper into it. Like, go into it. Have the courage to go deeper into it. And when you're assuming and presuming that you're a powerful human, which we all are, just as I said before, every person puts their hand up when I say, is it possible or not possible? Do you guys believe that every human being has a level of genius, like creative genius within them? And every person puts their hand up. But when it comes to activating and igniting that within us, where the fuck is it? Like, what are you doing? You're getting involved in your bullshit patterns and your bullshit sabotaging behaviors and the negative thoughts. Why? You're not choosing that consciously. You're not. You're choosing that totally unconsciously. So if you had a choice of being a negative Nancy and being in these negative thought patterns or being powerful, of course, you would choose being powerful each time. There's not one person on this world that would choose feeling like shit and feeling negative. And that's what it is. That's just how life is, and that's just how us humans are. So I mean, look, I could go deeper into it, but there's only sort of so much you can really go into in these podcasts, because although this is really great information, the reality of it is if you want to do your own work, you're going to have to get some help. You're going to have to get someone to be able to hold space for you to move through it. And yeah, I mean, you know what, this week I'm setting it up on my Instagram or whatever. Hopefully I'll be able to get it done this week, but you'll be able to get on my Linktree profile, and I'm going to start doing 15-minute just intro chats about my coaching, whatever, just free chat for 15 minutes. And you can ask me anything you want about the coaching, about one-on-one coaching, and dive a little bit deeper into what you actually want for yourself and how you want to attack those things. And don't worry if you're not in Melbourne, because I'm in Melbourne. I've got clients all over the world. And so if there's a part of you that's sort of been called to reach out to me or to wonder about one-on-one coaching or anything, I'll have that 15-minute phone call thing set up. So wherever you are in the world, don't be scared to reach out. And other than that, guys, these negative thought patterns, we should have the onus on us. It's about no one else. It's about not any other situation. Stop blaming the world. Stop blaming other people. Take the fucking responsibility back, because it's all you. It's all you. Take the responsibility back. And when you catch yourself and you're aware that you've gone down a negative thought pattern, then bring it back, make powerful choices. And if you want to dive deep into what those powerful choices are and need to be, get into it. I'm sure that you've already had some sort of thoughts around what you could do and the situations that you're in at the moment. And if you want to even further help you, you really want to get deeper into your own genius, I'm not saying you won't do it unless you talk to me or you come on a coaching call with me, but reach out to me. Who knows? Like it might open you up. If we're talking specifically about you, what might happen there. But otherwise, thanks guys for rocking along with me on this Sunday. It was an honor to grace your ears once again, and it's always such an honor to be here and share these episodes with you. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being with me. I will see you again next week. Lots of love, guys. Go kick ass and don't stop anything. Just be you. Just fucking be you. Love you. Bye.